welcome back to my channel. It's Ziggy here. So today in this video, I want to talk about something that we all deal with at some point, creative stagnation. And it's that feeling where you get stuck and no matter how much you want to make something, nothing comes out. And honestly, I still find myself there sometimes. I lived in New York for a little while, 4 years. And through that whole time I lived in New York, I never got anything done. I couldn't make any art. It got to a point where I was just thinking about things that I want to draw and make, and then I would just never make them. And yes, everybody gets to that point where they can't draw, they can't do what they want to do, they can't create what they want to create. But all that matters is how you get out of it and when you get out of it, and when you start creating again. Because I feel like everybody's always like, oh, just start. But they are correct. You literally just have to start. And it doesn't need to be something fancy every day. It can be just drawing a stick figure. Even if you drawn fucking Mona Lisa in the past and you drew amazing paintings and everything. Drawing something simple and things that are not challenging yourself is just an easy way to get started again. Just an easy way to feel oh, this is something that I used to love and I can continue doing this by doing something easy. And then if you feel up to it, challenge yourself with, maybe for me, for example, it'd be drawing hands. I know every artist has tried to draw hands and it's looking like the AI art, and so yeah, it's definitely really easy to get oh, my character, the hands look like AI. Yeah. But recently I've been thinking, just how to get out of it. But yeah, that's just what it is. So honestly, I guess the first thing to do is to just start somewhere. How do you break out of creative stagnation? Do anything. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be oh, here's my 50-hour rendered painting that I drew. No. It can be a 1-hour drawing, a 30-minute sketch. Sketching for 30 minutes a day definitely can help. Taking a photograph a day, if you're a photographer and you're somebody who likes doing film, maybe do 5 seconds a day and put that all into one clip. Take a photo of yourself a day and do a month collage of seeing how you changed as a person within that month. And you can even write oh, for this week I had brown hair, this week I had blue hair, if you change your hair that much, which I do. And just something like that where you're consistent and you keep doing it over and over. It's just starting, getting your foot off the ground. It's when you haven't done something in a while, it feels kind of intimidating, you're starting for the first time. And when you start for the first time, it's just as intimidating as starting over, but it never hurts to start over. When I was starting over and when I was drawing once again, when I got back into that groove, into that vibe, I sort of would draw anything. Even if I hated it, I kept drawing because I knew that within 5 things that I drew that I hated, there has to be 2 or 1 that I really, really like out of those 5 that I didn't like. Because you can't draw 100 things and hate every single one of them. And if you draw 100 things and you hate every single one of them after just starting, that's okay too. Because it's not everything you make is going to be perfect. This video might not even be perfect. All that matters is that you are doing something where it's oh, this is my drawing and I'm working really hard at it. Even if you want to work hard at one drawing for a long period of time, that's okay too. I think another thing that also helped me was coloring in. Even if the sketch looked really bad, I would color in the drawing. For somebody who's not an artist, or maybe they don't do photography or film, if you're playing an instrument and you keep messing up at this one specific chord, just keep going. You mess up at that one chord, keep going and starting over, and playing the whole song over again until you get that one part right. Because you keep going back to that one part, you're like,
yeah, I can get this right.
Yeah, that's okay. Keep trying. Because at the end of the day, nobody's watching you. And if they are watching you and you want them to watch you, they're going to see your struggle. They're going to be like, wow, this person kept going. Wow, this person kept going and they still are trying their best. Like, they can see, people can see when you care, and people can see when you're doing the best that you can and when you're making and creating what it is that you really love. Because I think the next thing, is consistency over perfection. When you're consistent in something that you make and you keep creating it over and over and over again, the 100th time may be the best, your first time may be the best, in your opinion. But wholeheartedly, if you just keep going at it and you keep going at things that like excite you, and you're like, yeah, I drew this painting, but it's okay because I didn't really like it, so I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna keep making the next one. I really think that as long as you keep going and as long as you keep making the thing that you like, that's literally all you can ask for. Even if it's little doodles, even if it's notes, even if it's voice memos, even if you're just like writing out scripts and you don't like it, there's a lot of errors. Have, people you like look over it and then maybe incorporate their tips and tricks or things that they said that you're like, oh, that's actually really helpful, into your next video, into your next script, into your next writing, into your next drawing, into your next song maybe. Because so many people get focused on like, my song is not good, my song is not perfect. Your song never has to be perfect, and your song will never be perfect. Your drawing will never be perfect. Do you want it to be perfect the first try? Because think about it, if you started making art at 100 or being so perfect at it, then you would never do it. Because there's also, on the flip side, people who create art and they're really good at it, textbook, because art is subjective, and they can't draw because like they think, oh, I'm already really good at it. Some people, they have the talent but they don't have the creativity. You can have the creativity without the talent, and sometimes not everything is talent. Sometimes things are hard work. And when you sort of do that, when you sort of put yourself out there and you're sort of scared to do that, it can take a lot of guts, really, to like create what it is that you want to create. Because not everybody's going to see your vision. Not everybody's going to see how you created it and why you created it. And because of that, you need to stop comparing yourself to others. Because you can look at your art and you can be like, damn, there's this 14-year-old that's drawing better than me. Okay, let that 14-year-old be good. Because who knows, maybe they traced it, maybe they didn't. You don't know what that 14-year-old did to really hone their art skills. Even if it's talent, you can be there up with them, encourage them and uplift them, because you would have wanted somebody to do that for you if you were as good as them when you were 14. Or maybe there's somebody the same age as you. Like, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, I'm 23 and I see this other artist and they're 23 and they have all these followers on Instagram and TikTok and all their art posts blow up. Okay, if you want that, you can have it. If you want that, you can get it. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's different between you and that other person is they kept doing it. Why did you stop? I feel like so many people get caught up in comparing themselves when they don't know what that person did to get there. One thing that can really help you, is definitely looking at people's old videos. Like, looking at their old videos and being like, damn, this person used to make really, really bad old videos. And I hope that I can make good videos like them. And you will, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Just because that person makes really good art, you can also get there one day. You can look back at your old art and you can be like, damn, I used to draw really bad and I used to always look up to people that drew like this or in a certain way, or the music artists who they make their music a certain way and you're like, damn, I wish I made my music that way. Well, now you do. And when you get to that point, you can help others. And if you don't want to help others, that's fine too. But just know that at the end of the day, that comparing yourself doesn't really do anything but just fuck you up inside. Comparison is the thief of all joy. You know, that saying is just, it's so real, and I'm definitely still trying to get out of that. Like, I always compare myself to like artists who are like 22, 21, 23, and they have all these big art things going for them. They have this, they have that. I don't have all that stuff, all that recognition, but I have the skills, and I have the talent, and I have the drive. And even if I don't have talent, I have the drive. The drive is all that matters, because you know who else had the drive? Those people who you're comparing yourselves to. They have the drive too. They had people that they look up to as well. So anytime you compare yourself to somebody where you're like, oh man, this person, they're so good, how do you think they feel? They probably compare themselves just as much, if not more. And you will never know unless you somehow become friends with those people, which is like, never meet your heroes. Don't do that. Be your own hero. And another way you can be your own hero is creating for yourself first. Because when you create for yourself, you have this sort of drive to make something without caring about what other people think. And even if you want to create for others, make sure that inherently you're doing it for yourself, and you're looking in within yourself and you're thinking, this is a video where it's like, I would have loved my 5-year-old self to see, my 11-year-old self to see, because that version of yourself is still with you. They're just older. They didn't go anywhere. They never went anywhere. They're always with you. People are like, oh, I wish little 5-year-old me could see me now. She is seeing you now. He is seeing you now. They are seeing you now. They're with you right there. And never like think to yourself, oh man, the little version of me, she would have loved this or that, because they are with you. When you create stuff for yourself, make it because it makes you feel alive. Make it because you want to put out what you would want to see. You don't want to live a life that's just about working, scrolling, sleeping, and repeating the cycle. You have to take some time for yourself to really just slow down, because everybody's always in that cycle. Even if you don't want to be creative, even if you can only draw a stick figure, which if I had $1 for every time I've heard somebody say, oh, I wish I could draw like you, I can only draw a stick figure, I'd be rich. I would be so rich. But it's like, even if you only draw them stick figures, keep drawing them. You see these stick figure YouTube channels, they are making money and they are doing things that they like. You don't need to be perfect. Your art doesn't need to be the best. And if somebody's going on your page and they're like, oh, I don't like this, who cares? Because you know who you made it for? You. You made it for yourself. Like, nobody else can say that you didn't make it for yourself. And if somehow, for some reason, somebody does be like, oh, well, she made this for other people. Okay. You can make it for yourself and you can make it for others at the same time. So, like, what now? Yeah, I made it for myself, but I also made it for people that are like myself. People like me. People like you. Because you want to look back at your life and say, like, yeah, I made things that reflected me and things that captured my experiences and the world through my eyes. Because at the end of the day, you only really have you. And when you make things for yourself, you realize that, like, your job, you know, isn't your whole life. People's opinions on you isn't your whole life. The only person's opinion that matters is yourself. Because, you know, something else that got me creating again is my 9-to-5 job. Or in my case, this corporate job. I made me realize that if I don't make time for things that I love, a job and life just starts to feel flat. And a job can give you stability, sure, but if you don't balance it with things that give you joy, you'll burn out real quick. And you won't, like, do things for yourself as much. You'll go home and you'll scroll. You'll go home and you'll watch other things, consume other people's media. Even if you don't want to draw or create music or film, photography, you can bake, you can cook, you can read a book, bars. And so there's so many things you can do. There's no limit to what you can do, you know. One thing that I actually have been looking into was like making a Zine, I'm gonna put it right up here because the way it's like spelled is really like weird. Not bad weird, but like, oh, design. I like that word. I like that twang, you know? But that's why making art, or just having a creative outlet or just learning something new is so important. And it definitely keeps that spark alive. Just one day at a time, just doing things that just doing things where you don't compare yourself to others. You create for yourself. You create things you enjoy. And, overall, just live for you, not for others. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking about to break free from creative stagnation. Start messy, stay consistent, stop comparing yourself, create for yourself, and don't let work and life eat you up. If you're in a slump right now, it's definitely a lot. And I totally get it, because me personally, I too was in that slump. But just know that you can get out, and you will get out, and you're not stuck. No matter what people tell you, no matter what life tells you, no matter what your family members tell you, because they don't know you, they're not you. They will never be inside of your head. It's just do what you want, and create, live. That quote from this movie, I don't remember the movie name, but it's like, if you never stop to smell the flowers. I'll put the clip because I don't know what it is, but I'll put like a photo, and it's like, if you don't stop to smell the flowers, life will pass you by. And you don't want your own life to pass you by trying to please others and trying to please yourself for things that you don't even really care about. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. If everything or anything I said was inspiring, leave a comment. You don't even really need to subscribe if you don't want to. I feel like only subscribe if you feel called to subscribe. But yeah, thank you for coming to my channel. Ziggy out.